Uddhav was a jnani, and his preferred choice of sadhana was to worship the formless, impersonal aspect of God. Now, Sri Krishna was very uncomfortable with this. He played a clever move. So Sri Krishna said, Uddhav, will you do a work of mine? So these gopis, can you go and explain to them the concept that you jnanis have? Aham Brahmasmi. Now he started off from Mathura. He was going along the banks of the Yamuna. He was finding that from each of the houses, a stream would originate and merge into the Yamuna. He asked one of the Brajbasis, residents of Braj, can you please tell me which is the house of Nand Baba and Mother Yashoda? The Brajbasi said, you see this bigger stream? You walk alongside it. The house from which it begins is the house of Nand and Yashoda. Uddhav didn't realize the import of it. He just started walking along that thick stream. However, when he reached Nand Baba's bhavan and he peeped in through the main door, he was taken aback. There he saw Nand and Yashoda sitting and weeping in longing for Krishna. When will he come back? When will he come back? Their tears were so profuse that a stream had gotten created from it. This was their daily work. They would get up in the morning. He had said he will come in 2 days. He will definitely come today. They would keep waiting till night, and then they would say he didn't come today, but they would not give up hope. He will come tomorrow. And the rest of the Brajbasis were doing the same thing, so their tears had caused a flood in the Yamuna. Uddhav went to Mother Yashoda with great courage. He offered his pranam, conveyed the message. Yashoda was delighted to hear some news about her Lala. She caught Uddhav's hand and said, you are my son's friend. Come, let me show you. This is the cot on which he used to sleep. This is the place where he would crawl into my lap. And sometimes he would lift his father's padukas on his head and start walking. Now they never looked upon him as God. And he behaved accordingly with them, reciprocated their love. He never revealed that he is God. So just as behavior appropriate for a child, he would do the same things. Uddhav, sometimes he would catch my finger and we would walk around here, etc. Yashoda would keep remembering and keep crying. Finally, Yashoda said, Uddhav, I am a courageous lady and I have the heart to tolerate this pain. However, the condition of the gopis is very precarious. They are in such a deep feeling of separation. I don't want any of them to commit suicide, Atmahatya. Please go and convey your news to them. So Uddhav then went forth to where Radhaji and the gopis were situated. Now when the gopis saw Uddhav and his appearance was very much like Sri Krishna, they saw that our beloved's friend has come. They all overjoyed and they all gathered around Uddhav. Now Uddhav's lecture began. He said, there is absolutely no need for you to cry in longing for Sri Krishna. If you are thinking of Him as God, as the Supreme Brahman, you yourself are the Supreme Brahman. Just practice contemplating upon yourself as Brahman using these 4 Mahavakyas, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi Ayam Atma Brahma Prajnanam Brahma, and within a short while Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, you will find that the whole world has become Brahmamaya. Now, the gopis were listening to Uddhav's lecture, and they were smiling to themselves and from within that he has become a jnani by our grace, and he is giving us a lecture that there is no need to cry for Krishna. The reason being that some of these gopis were the Ved mantras personified. There were 3 kinds of gopis: first class, second class, third class. Like I remember in India, up to I think 72, 73, there used to be first class, second class, third class, and second class disappeared. So the gopis also had these 3 classes: first class, second class, third class. I mean, A class gopis, B class gopis, C class gopis. So the first category of gopis were the eternal associates of God. Lalita, Vishakha, Tunga Vidya, etc., who reside with Him in His eternal divine abode, eternally liberated saints participating in His pastimes as gopis. Those eternal associates had descended from His divine abode to participate in His leelas on the earth planet and assist Him in His work. So these descended saints were the first category of the gopis. The second category of gopis, the second class gopis, were great rishis and munis from the age of Treta. When Lord Ram had descended and was revealing His pastimes, as a part of His pastimes, He went through the forest of Dandakaranya. These great ascetics and yogis were residing in Dandakaranya, practicing sadhana, when they saw the Lord in His personal form as Sri Ram. And they were so amazed by the enchanting beauty of Lord Ram that they requested Him for a boon. They said, if God is so beautiful, we would like to worship You in Madhurya Bhav. Worship You in this mood that You are our beloved. Ram said, listen, this is not possible in this avatar. I have come as Maryada Purushottam. I have to follow the Maryada of worldly conduct. However, in the age of Dwapar, I will be coming back again as Lord Krishna. All of you come as gopis and you will get the ras that you have asked for. So these rishis and munis, they descended as gopis. Pura maharshaya sarve dandakaranyavasinah drishtva ramam harim tatra bhoktum suvigraham te sarve stritvam samudbhutascha gokule hari samprapya kamena tato mukta bhavarnavat. So these were the second class of gopis. And then there were the third category of gopis. Who were these? These were the Vedic mantras. They are called richas, the Vedic richas. So, from our Vedic perspective, all energies are both formless and existing in a personal form. Hence, we have Prithvi Devi personified, Mother Earth. We have the Gayatri Mantra personified. So these Ved mantras are the knowledge energy of God. They also exist in their personal form. However, these Ved mantras were only aware of the external opulence of God. They had no experience of the sweetness of His pastimes, which He performs with His devotees under the influence of bhakti. So they knew Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, external things, but they didn't know the internal ras. Like in the olden days, there would be the people in the court of the king. They were called Bandijan. They would sing praises of the king. Our king is so great, he has got so many horses, so many camels and so many foot soldiers. And the king would hear, yes, I am like that. He was the king. So these people who would glorify the king, they knew his external opulences, but they did not know what all he did in his private palace with his queens and his children. So similarly, these Ved mantras desired to experience the bliss of divine love. So they also came as gopis. These were the third class of gopis. Now these third class gopis were hearing Uddhav and smiling. By virtue of the knowledge he has received from us, he has become a jnani. And he is lecturing back to us that you should not cry for Sri Krishna, you yourself are God. However, Uddhav's lecture reached a completion. He was quite satisfied. I have explained very nicely. I must have resolved all their doubts. Now from here the famous Uddhav Gopi Samvad began, which has been the subject of innumerable poetries and bhajans and kirtans by hundreds and thousands of saints in history. The gopis said, Uddhavji, your lecture was most praiseworthy and scholarly. However, we are ordinary village women, illiterate. In those days, village women were illiterate. So, we have a few doubts. Uddhav said, ask us, what is it you have not understood? The gopi said, Uddhavji, first question. You said there is only one entity in existence called Brahman. Very correct. So what are you? I am Brahman. I am Brahmasmi. What is she? She is also Brahman. What am I? You are also Brahman. I told you there is only one Brahman and nothing else. So the gopi said, Uddhavji, if there is only one entity, then whom are you giving a pravachan to? A pravachan has to be between minimum two people. There is one person speaking who knows and another who is hearing, who wishes to know. And if there is only one entity, a pravachan is not possible. And if you were truly situated in Advait as you have talked and taught us, You would have only seen Uddhav, Uddhav, Uddhav everywhere. How would you have given us a pravachan? But you are seeing these gopis are in great despair and I am trying to remove their despair with this knowledge. You are in Dvait, not in Advait. Poor Uddhav, he did not expect that. He became highly uncomfortable. Sri Krishna said that these gopis, they are illiterate, but they don't seem to be like that to me. Nobody has ever accosted me with such a question till today. So he says, well, actually the reason is I would like to say. The gopi said, all right, Uddhavji, our next question. You said, contemplate upon Brahman. And yes. With what should we do this contemplation? With what? With your mind? What else? Are Uddhavji, we don't have any mind for contemplation. You don't have a mind, but every living being has got a mind. Even animals have a mind. Where did your mind go? Your friend Krishna, he took our mind with him when he went to Mathura. Now, what do you mean by that? I mean, Udho manana bhaye das bees. Udho ji manana bhaye das bees. Ekahu to so gayo sham sang. को अवराधेश उधो जी मन न भये 10-20